needles are sticking into me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure, and, all the ideas that they have about teachers already, they're not gonna like you, you're gonna be a witch, and,
Yeah.
and all this other stuff.
And plus they were attached to the other teacher too.
Yeah. Yeah, and then their ideas and fears about grown-ups in the first place.
Especially if they've had some bad experiences with grown-ups too.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, see, I'm sure you've picked up some of their energy and stuff. In fact, I'm gonna use one of these nice big charcoal stoves here.
Okay.
See this baby?
Yeah. And where do you put that? That's throat chakra?
For the root. I put it down, like, kind of between your legs, pointing down, and it helps draw stuff out.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So that should...
Really, really special.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go to this divorce now. It should be final next week, but...
For the 4th of July.
Yeah.
That's what mine went through on July 3rd. Yeah. I figured, well, the judge wasn't working on July 4th. So I think it's like the 2-year anniversary.
Yeah.
This year, of course, we've been separated for longer than that. So,
Oh, you finally got your divorce, you did. How long ago?
Yeah. It was, I think it'll be 2 years.
Oh.
This July. July 3rd.
Well,
Okay.
I'm supposed to be final in July, but I'm not really, I just keep getting negative feelings about the attorney. I don't think she's really, strong and in my interest, I don't know. He has a lot of problems with it now, so I haven't found really good time to engage with partner splitting. There's like a divorce, and then he was, he's a recovering alcoholic, and then his secretary quit, he's gone through the changes of her life. Oh, yeah. That, and the fact that he never calls, he never sends me anything, he says, I paid him $750, and I feel like I'm getting a service.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to see a female attorney on Monday and see what she can do. And maybe just switch right here and make sure he's on his job. Because this is like, they tell me, I've been hassling with my husband for 2 years now to sell the house. But he's saying, well, I need to do this, I need to do that, and he's been putting off. And then he had knee surgery, knee replacement surgery, so now he's healing from that. In the meantime, I am in the poorhouse. So.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. So I said, but somebody said, well, there's something your attorney could have filed forcing to sell the house.
Oh, yeah, they can force, of course, and that's a good time, too.
Yeah.
Real estate is moving.
Yeah. And especially now that I'm not working right now, and I called him and told him, I said, I'm not working, I'm only working part-time, I'm short on money, I really need you to get on this, I haven't heard from him since. And I said, well, about the house, there's separate conditions. He said, well, just don't get a realtor, put it up for sale. And I said, I said, well, can I put it up for sale without his signature? And he says, I don't know, go get a realtor and find out.
Who's on the, did both of you sign the papers when you got the loan?
Yeah.
Then it's in both of your names, you both need to sign off.
Yeah.
I had to get a quick claim deed from my husband when we divorced. That was one of the things so that I could sell the house on my own.
Yeah.
So because the house was mine.
Yeah.
He took everything else, and I ended up with the house, and that was lovely, except that you can't keep the house.
Yeah. Right.
I can't turn the house into clothing for your kids.
No.
I got a loan against it, but it's money from behind.
Sure.
It cost me on both ends. It cost me to get the loan, and then when I sold the house and had to pay off, it cost me that end too. But it did save my life. I was in dire straits when I got that loan, so.
And they take advantage of you then, too.
Oh, they do. Yeah, and that's the thing, is they know you're in dire straits,
Right.
and that's why they can charge you all that money, and they know you'll sign off on anything.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought, he's going to tell me to go realtor and ask him, like, he doesn't know anybody that he could ask.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I don't know find somebody else. It's too many men in this anyway. My husband's attorney is a man, he's a man, and this one is a man. I said, I'm something to a female. Maybe she could be more in your best interest.
Yeah.
And make sure that as we close out, that everything is done right.
Yeah. I do have, my attorney was,
Oh, yeah?
she still is.
Oh, she good?
And, yeah, I liked her. I thought she was very good. She's right over in Glendale. I could give you her name if you're interested, unless you found somebody already.
Yeah, I'm going to go tomorrow. And
Oh.
see this lady that was recommended. I wish I'd known.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, if for some reason you don't feel comfortable with her or something like that, or if you want to just check them both out.
Yeah.
There's a quick shot. Maybe really different.
Yeah.
Does that noise bother you? That high pitched? It's my tape recorder. It does this sometimes. I was going to record this for you and give you the tape when you're done.
Oh, great.
Okay, all right, then we'll keep it on. Okay, I just thought, if the noise bothered you, then we could just shut it down. All right. Yeah, that's why I put that big root chakra stone there for you to help draw out some of the excess energy from the kids and stuff and all the stress. You've been doing so good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, it's been a challenge and it's been difficult, but it's also been very rewarding, that makes it all worthwhile, It's like you're proving things to yourself that I really can do this and stuff like that. And then you're doing something that really is meaning for you.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it all worthwhile. It helps you get through the hard days. It doesn't matter what you're doing, there's always hard days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Third eye is vibrating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some strong stones there. I'll open stuff up and you can handle it. Look at
I'm trying to do my meditation and it came to me.
that is so neat. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, these third eye chakra stones will really help. A lot. Okay. Let me draw a circle of protection around the room and then call angels and guides and buddies and stuff and start it. Okay. Okay. First we want to draw a ring of protection around myself and Rita in this office. Starting in the east, we call in the watchers of the east to come in, watch over us, protect us during this healing, allowing only those entities with our very highest good in mind and heart to come in within the circle, keeping all others outside. And we draw the circle around towards the south, and we call in the watchers of the south to come in and assist with this healing, to watch over us and protect us, and to allow only those entities within the circle that have our very highest good in mind and at heart, keeping all others outside the circle. And we draw the circle around towards the west. And we call in the watchers of the west to come in and assist with this healing, to watch over us and protect us, and and to allow only those entities within the circle that have our very highest good in mind and at heart, keeping all others outside the circle. And finally, we draw the circle around towards the north. We call in the watchers of the north to come in and assist with this healing, to protect us, watch over us, to allow only those entities within the circle that have our very highest good in mind and at heart, keeping all others outside. And we complete the circle by coming back to the east. Then we extend the circle into a sphere encompassing above and below and all points in between. And we fill the sphere with white, healing, light, delight. And through the office of the Christ we do invoke from 6th to 54th dimensions, archangels for head, feet, and 8th chakra station. Archangel Gabriel at feet, Michael at head, and Raphael at feet. And calling in the guides, both mine and leaders, to come in and assist with this healing. And asking Antar and Uriel to come and blend with my energy, to direct my head, my heart, and my hands in this healing so that I may be of most benefit. Code she came in on, code she shifted into. And let's raise her in frequency to a level that would be best for this healing. Let's start at 44, then 66, 84, 94, 24, and then 36, and stabilizing. Into each and every chakra, front and back, invoking Seraphim to strengthen and amplify. And into the Kundalini channel, invoking Cherubim to strengthen and amplify. Okay, yes, your root chakra needs some work. It needs some stabilizing. It's kind of going, there's just been too much, too soon, too fast. Oh my God. So we'll work on drawing out that energy and stabilizing it and everything. And your heart's a lot more open than it was before. And that's kind of a double-edged sword. It's a very good thing. It's much better than being closed. At the same time, it makes you more vulnerable. And so you opened your heart to these children, and it's a wonderful thing. And you've given a lot, and yet you've taken on some of their energy, of course, too. And I can see some of these children, the little girl you were telling me about, and there's a couple little boys, another little girl. There's several of them. It's almost like almost as if they're an entity unto themselves. All these children and everything. And so you're open and you're also vulnerable to them. So I'll see what I can do to stabilize that stuff. We want to keep your heart open, but we also want to eventually come to the point where you can, where you're okay with whatever happens with them. That you can do your best for them, and whatever happens with them is part of their own path. That kind of a thing, where you don't feel wounded if one child or another doesn't make it or something like that. It's a hard thing to come to terms with. it's like watching our own children making awful mistakes with their lives, and we just we want to do whatever we can to make sure they're okay and they're safe and they don't harm themselves and everything, and because it hurts us. And and so there's a point of balance where we can love them to the extent that we've always loved them, and yet be comfortable within ourselves and just allow them to live their lives and make their own mistakes. It's a hard thing to do. Yeah, very hard to do. Yeah. Okay, let's get butter chocolate. Your second can use some work, but it's also looking stronger than the last time I saw it. Because you've progressed with your divorce, you're standing up for yourself more, and this job, as stressful as it is, it's very, very good for your self-esteem because you're making a difference. You're doing something you've always wanted to do. That's really good. Your third is a little unstable also. It's kind of wibbly-wobbly. And that, I think that it looks like it has to do with the iffy money issues over the summer. The third has to do with our intellect. It also has to do with control issues and stuff. And it's trying to control everything in the environment so that you'll be safe and stable. But the environment right now is unstable. There are ifs and maybes and things. And it's kind of going crazy trying to put everything in its place when there are things that are just not ready to be put into place yet. So I'll work on stabilizing that and calming it down a bit. It kind of works in conjunction with the root. And the two of them together. Once the root is calm, then the third will be more calm. And once the third is calm, then the root will be more calm. Yeah, that kind of thing. It's like you're speaking up to yourself more too. Yeah, your throat is looking better. There's still some stuff, especially in the back of the throat. Some old verbal abuse patterns from childhood and stuff. And, your own negativity that you've had to deal with in your own life, from family, being a small child and growing up. And even in the classroom, hearing all this negativity from the children, that's hard to deal with. So I'll see what I can pull out of the throat as well. Heal that up, and we want to just kind of balance and stabilize everything so that we can end cycle on the school year and look forward to the summer and things you'll be learning. And looks like you might get an easy summer job too, possibly part-time, so just to help make ends meet. But it'll be like a totally stress-free, simple job. It might be some kind of office work or something because you're used to doing that. You've done that for a long time. It's not anything like the work you did before. Where bosses were crazy with that kind of stuff. Might even be through a temp agency or something like that. Get some office work that way. And, that way if you are in any office that politics are bad or something like that, you can just say, oh, well, I'd like another assignment, please. Get me out of here. That kind of a thing. And then you can also work temp assignments around the schooling that they're having to do this summer. Is that a full-time thing over the summer, or is that just a couple of weeks? Or?
We'll have to meet with her on the 3rd to decide that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What I understand, I can set my own hours.
Oh, excellent. That would be excellent, yeah. Does the temp thing interest you at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause there are several temp agencies. They're good. I've done that from time to time myself. And, you've got good office skills and stuff, so you could go in and make decent money. And, with a temp job, you can pretty well work the hours you want to work. I mean, there may be an assignment where they maybe need you, like, 2 weeks straight, 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or whatever it is, and everything. But if you can also work work the schooling around that, that would be great. So you can do the school on the, times when they don't have anything for you work-wise. That would be really good. And it'll also help remind you why you became a teacher. Already again. I don't really see any real money problems for you in the summer. It doesn't look like that. Things might get tight, tighter than you would like them to be, but it doesn't, I don't see any kind of like, the shit hitting the fan or anything like that, it's like, oh no, what am I going to do now? Nothing like that. I think it'll be fine. If you sign up with 2 or 3 temp agencies, then you'll be almost certain to have work throughout the summer. You'll be able to pick and choose what you want. Yeah, how much stuff It looks like parents really get you. I don't know. Deal with the school officials and the principal and all that kind of stuff. And the children, your heart is out to these kids. You have to help them. And then when you talk to parents and you find their attitudes and the way they look at things, you just want to yeah. and they're the ones that really get under your skin. Yeah. So that'll be a challenge for you to figure out how to with them, because it's very hard to try and change an adult's way of being. It's hard to change anybody's way of being. Make changes within themselves. Hopefully, by example, we can help others, children more open. A greater effect on them. You're going to be the kind of teacher the kids will remember long into adulthood as being really instrumental in changing the course of their lives and helping them through some difficult times. And I don't think it's an accident right now that you're going to 6th grade. You may go to younger grades. Right now, because 6th grade is a pivotal point, we're leaving off point of the beginning of the kids' adolescence. There's so open at that age to be able to listen to adults and have to make difference in their lives. So maybe reaching these kids like at their last moment kind of thing, you know? Yeah. I see you teaching maybe like 5 years at the elementary level. You know, you might do like 1 or possibly 2 years in 6th or 5th grade, and then going into the younger grades and doing that for maybe 3 years. After that, it looks like you moved ahead. I don't know if you may go into higher grades. You might go to high school, junior high, or college, or it might be that you get promoted into maybe assistant principal or something like that. I know that the school districts have very definite groups that help you get promoted into but I do see you making advances. I'm just not sure exactly how. If it's within the district itself, or if it's into higher grades. I also see you writing in the future too. Writing about your experiences. Yeah. And you might also have something to do with psychology, child psychology. Yeah, you might end up getting a psychological degree or something of that sort. You might decide to go back to school yourself. Are you still at USF? No. We both got completed. That's right, yeah. Yeah, we all did. I still would like to complete that.
And I kind of thought maybe I got what I needed there.
Yeah, yeah, I kind of felt that too. And also the timing was wrong for me. You know, I'm starting up my business and everything still up.
I kind of felt like, you know, once you were thinking about it,
Yeah. 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 Well, that in itself is a big step. And you're thinking that is, or assisting you to do that for yourself. Yeah. 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 Oh, yeah. Heart. I'm going to come back to the heart. I just kind of want to do a general cleaning right here. No, you're big, right? All this work you've done already of yourself. The stride you've taken with doing acts and stuff, and looks like you've taken some stands with your son too, and given him what for from time to time, and beginning to treat him with more respect. Not always, you know, there's still a long road ahead, but at least they know that you know, mom is somebody to be reckoned with, and you can't just assume that you can walk all over them, you know, that kind of thing, yeah. really part of Christmas this year, like flags being spread. Well, smart too, aren't you? Yeah.
Teaching, I don't even get a chance to eat or anything.
Oh, great. Yeah. Yeah, water's really good. I try to drink as much as I can. But I'm always forever running to the bathroom. but it's good. It flushes out your system. Gets rid of toxins and all kinds of other things that need to be got rid of.
There's this guy I went had a baby, showed up, and one time we were talking, got tired of it, and how he's not, we talked about buying like all the stuff, the preparation, down my car.
Oh,
And so
second time?
yeah.
Oh,
I called him, I said, yeah, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was calling you at 11:30 the night before,
Yeah.
and then standing you up. Oh, yeah. 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 And it probably felt good for you to tell him, too. What's this period where, I did that a lot. I kept meeting guys and stuff. They kept wanting to see me and all this stuff and everything, and I was baffling myself because I just kept turning him down right and left. And I go, why am I doing it? Barbie, what's wrong with you? Why did you go out with some of these guys and everything? And then, I finally talked to Anton, who's what's my dad's country? Is he the one in San Diego? Yeah, he's the psychic in San Diego, and Anton is the MP that speaks to him.
Oh, okay.
I asked Edgar about it. I said, what is going on with you? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, that's what's going on. I have to say no to these guys in order to raise my own self-esteem and just take some control over the situation. Rather than being in a head weird. Oh, yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah. And then, yeah. 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 Yeah, really. Yeah, and if you've got a yeah. Yeah. Gonna, have some challenges there and everything, but it's not gonna be all inside and like that. It'll be there. Mutual love. Well, I think it's gonna be a few years down the line. You're gonna spend some time working on yourself. Without the man in the way, color that, and so you'll just have grandson like covering people, not about, you may find yourself taking classes in certain things or another, something like that, and just have a good time. And then when the time is right, when you've covered enough of yourself again, and self-esteem high enough and everything, then it'll be the right time for the relationship to be strong enough to stand up to if it needs to be, so you will know within yourself when you start giving in to it. I think it's going to be a no problem. People are like, oh, yeah. Changing old thought patterns, childhood and everything, and reworking your own issues with your own father and your male figures in your life. There may be some you're going to be able to, take all your creativity will begin to reach as you start to work on you. You want to go explore those things, And what better way, than being single, you don't have to answer to anybody. You don't have somebody going, but I want you home to make dinner. No, I'm going to take this class, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Yeah. Yeah, but in that way you get to explore you rework the relationship with yourself. You might, before you
Big. Yeah, I'm gonna go to my house.
maybe sometime summer or fall. But if you have any say in the matter, you want to time it so that you're still on school break or something. So you don't do this in the middle of, yeah. You really made a difference. Wonderful way. Have you heard anything about her? Has she come back, do you know?
Well, they found the video on her she came to graduation the next day.
Oh, good. So it was just a temporary thing.
Yeah, she didn't, she stayed with the real house.
Well, I think just her actions running away was her way, I mean, rather inappropriate, but her way of taking control of a bad situation. Doing something about it, hiding in the room and crying, victim. So that, gave her courage to stand up for herself. And we should continue to do that. It may be in inappropriate ways at first, because that's kind of how, we blunder through it at first until we become smooth enough with it to be able to make more appropriate choices. Oh, right. Yes. Yeah, because it has to do with you teaching, right? When you're teaching, you're going to make a difference in people's lives. I wonder if this might be one. And it might be, I don't know, you may never see her again, but you will stay with her in your heart. And she'll kind of idolize you in a way and everything, idealize you. But you will be there, she'll be what will teach you to say situation done, and she will hold you up as being like the first loving adult she ever really come across. Possibly, you may hear from her many years down the line, she's able to make something of herself. It'll seem like she'll be a professional of some sort or another. She will have worked hard. I don't know for sure if she will have put herself in college enough. That might be a bit too much to expect, but it'll be something like that, where she worked very hard to get to where she is. And, and she'll have small children too or something, and she'll be rearing them in a totally different way. With a lot of love and she really will make a difference. Oh, I think there's going to be many.
In this class?
Yeah, there'll be a few in this class, and I think over the years you will touch many of them. You will make a difference in a lot of their lives. You may have to put up with some flack from parents and stuff too, possibly even the school. Certain parents will think that you're interfering too much with their children or what have you. They'll get all uppity and high horse about things. stuff, so you might have to stand up for yourself. But that'll be down the line. You'll be ready to handle it if it happens. And there will be times like that. That'll be difficult part. Just make sure that you obey all the laws and rules, things like that. Others will be shut down. That's kind of the way life is. But, even that routine, it's like, it's so important. Just know the difference between 1 or 2 lives. And it may or may not be, I see it as being more of touching them emotionally, helping them learn to deal with the emotion in their lives and stuff. Yeah, you'll be teaching them academics and stuff, and kids will have their wins that way too and everything, but it's more of helping them learn to deal with some of the struggle that they have in their lives. How you reach them. It's going to help you heal your own inner child, your relationship with yourself. You'll see yourself as better than so it will be healing for them, it will be healing for you. Maybe the things that you tried to do with your son, which is hard for you to, because they weren't accepted the way because your husband didn't mind what you were trying to do. You'll be able to make changes in the lives of some of your school children that you were trying to do with yourself. That will heal within you the rift. And then you come around and you can heal it with yourself. Gradually. And it may not be complete. It will be completely with you. It may not be complete with them. you know, the spiritual base and everything's ready. But it will make some changes. At the very least, it's start doing I saw it in my family that started to change. Now, when we are together, or when I do see her, or talk with her, or something like that, her attitude's changed. And I think she just senses on some level that she can't mess with me the way she used to. Yeah, and we've never actually spoken about it or anything. It's just, yeah, and I think she senses on some spiritual level or something like that, that I've grown, that I've changed. Yes, it's changed. Most of it comes as a result of the yourself, patterns, enjoying doing that, just raising yourself esteem, and you start really feeling comfortable with who you are, and that radiates out to others. And they sense it, and they really start treating it. You'll start seeing the rewards. You look back at certain things and you go, oh, cool, you know, oh, wow, you know, you might not even realize it as it's happened. It'll be later on, you'll be rehashing it in your mind. You go, oh my God, you know, what used to be is they would say this, that, and the other thing to me, and then I ended up feeling this way, and that didn't happen. Usually it ends up making things for the better. You know, if you're doing it for yourself and it's the right thing for you to do, and it is, you know, then, you know, it may toss things into turmoil for a while, but eventually all the other relationships will begin to do it too.
Angry.
Yeah. Well, there might be. All that's happening is that there's more honesty happening in the family, you know, because, you know, the family was destroyed already with the bad relationship between you and your husband and stuff, and the things that were going on before. You know, so now, even though it throws everything into turmoil, it gives everybody a chance to look at everything, and it gives you a chance to heal and grow. And so as you change yourself, the other dynamics will get changed, and they will change as well. And eventually things will settle, and you can find that everybody will be a lot more healed. You get the feeling that the one boy that people are just resistant to doing what they want to do. They just kind of put a wall up. But for everybody, but that'll be their own thing. I mean, that's their own choice, their own thing. It's nothing to do with you or anything else. But I think everybody else will actually come to better terms with each other. Right.
might be the one.
Yeah, I think whichever one it is, if this does come to pass, it'll be because he's so afraid to change. You know, it's like he's actually too insecure of himself to allow himself to look within and make the changes. And we need to have a certain level of strength and self-esteem, actually, even though we think we may have low self-esteem. But we have to have a certain level of strength and esteem to be able to allow ourselves to look within and see our faults and change them. There are those among us who are so afraid that they cannot allow themselves the luxury to look within, because they might find fault, and if they do, then things just completely fall apart. And that's what the fear is. And it's so strong that they just can't. And of course, that lies within them. It has nothing to do with you or anybody else. That's just kind of where they're at. And it's a very difficult lesson for them to learn. Incredibly. It's been like that. You just cannot tell them anything. He's convinced that everything that's going on in his life, good or bad, is coming from everybody outside of it. You know, and yet he's a very metaphysical person. I can't believe that he's actually so blind that he can't see this. But he can't, and he's hitting rock bottom. Drugs and all kinds of other things, and he's just hitting rock bottom. He's burned out all his friends. Nobody wants to help him anymore, and it's a very hard lesson. I hope he comes to terms with it before he kills himself. Yeah. And I love him dearly. I was just like, but there's nothing I can do, nothing anybody can do until he's able to realize that maybe there's some changes that need to be made. It's like having an alcoholic or a drug addict. Nobody can do anything until they realize that they need to change. Yeah. And until that time, everybody else is along for the ride. It might be
Everybody else is wrong.
Yeah, it might be him. Ideally, probably make changes and stuff. And then first wife, and then me too. But if he doesn't, it's just really bad. It's you. But everybody else is going to be much better. Then you're going to have a chance to rework the relationship. It's really neat too, is that as we heal this kind of stuff within ourselves, we also feel our ancestors and our children to come. The grandchildren and great-grandchildren. As you heal yourself and your relationship with each of your family members and stuff, they will in turn begin to heal themselves and the relationships with their family members, and then their children, and the children that get born. And then so hopefully, down the line, the children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren won't have to deal with these same issues. They'll be healed within the family. The families tend to have patterns that they repeat together and stuff. So in that way, it heals not only you, but it heals everybody, all your loved ones.
The way my mother felt, I treat her that way. Things were still shut out, alone, and unable to talk. We didn't have a good relationship.
How was your relationship with her husband?
Yeah, she only married once, and her husband died shortly thereafter. He wasn't our father.
She must have felt very abandoned. And it was just a short while afterwards, they probably were still very much in love, you know, anyway, and stuff. How about, did she have any boyfriend or anything?
Yes, she had several boys.
How was their relationship? Oh, so there weren't any live-in boyfriends or anything like that?
What? No, I think back there was two. There was one like in high school and one prior to that. The one prior to that didn't stay very long. And one in high school, this was her heart. She felt bad. It was a play. Make Mr. Rennie begin with another woman again. And she called her later. That kind of relationship. And I didn't want to because he was always pulling my letters everything that I brought on a date. And I just thought she'd be all hostile. So I was interested in keeping better. Untrustworthy. She didn't have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
Five, six babies like him. And, push topics and really she's always been heavy.
Yeah. Do you know anything about the relationship with your own father?
Really young. I mean, his father worked on the railroad. And he didn't talk much at all. So there was no close relationship at all.
She tried to know how to relate to men who desperately wanted a relationship with a man.
Right.
And so one the next to the next. Oh, that must be really hard for her.
She got pregnant very early.
Yeah.
And then when I came, she really resented us because she wanted to go away to college like early. But because of her having children, she really resented us. And it's like, not even trying to kill us by holding the nose and taking the milk.
Heal here. Yeah.
And she was the favorite of us.
So she probably felt lost a little bit. It'd be interesting to look at what happened in her life and how she must have felt about some things, see if there's similarities with you and your life and everything, and see if there are, there aren't. And might also be good to look at your grandmother too, and see how her life was, and if there are any similarities there. Or anything about your dad's side at all. There may be things passed down on that side too. You might be able to go to meditation and get to that creation posture. Meditation. Yeah. Yeah. If you ask for Actually, I'm picking up now, your paternal grandmother may have been very much like you. Yeah, in that, you know, as far as her relationship with them and her son and stuff, that she was disrespected a lot. And that she felt alone and misunderstood and totally taken for granted. And yet, of course, in her time, there wasn't much you could do about it at all. That was the way things were. And she used to wonder if there was wrong with her life when she could deal with her men both the way other women seem to be able to deal with them. They live a happy life and she was miserable. Again, she made a very strong bond. I see her with white hair. Very sweet, kind woman. And there's a lot of pain behind her eyes. A lot of sadness, a lot of heartache. Something about her wanting a daughter, or she may have been a daughter of the and she romanticized his daughter. I can't get if it was actually a daughter inside of her, maybe she just didn't have a daughter, and she always wished she had, figured that her life would be better if she did have a daughter, and kind of romanticized it, but then she would have someone she could have a kinship with, and a common ground, and that kind of thing. Yeah, it looks like it, yeah, she just had some. Yeah, I see it. 2 or 3 at least. A house full of men. Abusive men. Oh my God, it's prison. The whole home was a prison. You know, I mean, she had to cook for them and serve them and clean up after them, and none of them gave her any mind. You know, she'd have a clean kitchen floor, and they'd come in with muddy boots and muddy everything up again, and, you know, she complained they'd only smack her. You know, nasty.
You don't have any really good sisters.
You might. Be interesting at some point, if you feel like this is the thing to do, and look up that side of the family if you can.
I tried doing that before I went to work. I just thought about doing that. Because I really would, it would help to complete my life.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking of like that?
Yeah, somewhat. She was a smaller, more frail woman. But facially, you share some of the similar features, and it's actually more in temperament and personality, a sweetness and a goodness, and an inner strength. I mean, she couldn't have survived that life and lived to be an old woman if she hadn't had any strength. And it was kind of like that lifetime for her was a test of her character, a test of her fortitude, strength. She passed with flying colors. I think she never have to go through anything like that again. Yeah. She always managed to say kind things, regardless of how badly we treated her. Yeah. Yeah, and all the things that are going on in your life, everything is changing. A lot of it is from teaching you about everything on the kids. I mean, it's ready to change. It's been ready for some time. Changes are happening. Next year you'll look back and go, oh my God, I've grown so much. I can't believe that was just a year ago. That such and such happened in my life, and each week successive year, and oh, my life growth is happening in a year. And I can't believe it. If that's where I was last year, imagine where I'll be this time next year. And you'd be like, whoa. I just feel yeah. Yeah. Good. Good. Yeah. You've made it through. You can get through anything else. Yeah. That's how you feel. No stopping you. Yeah. 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 Yeah, that's good. I mean, go ahead and do that. Just, work on yourself. Explore. Heal. Just enjoy you. The challenges. And I think, you come to a point where you look back at all the old trials and tribulations and stuff, and realize that they're lessons and stuff. Because without them, it wouldn't have catapulted you into where you are now. Oh, you've got a glower in it.
All right. Tell me what you think about exercise.
Well, they definitely have their use. There are times when there can be entities around people that, people have a difficult time dealing with themselves and can't, maybe it's a stronger entity or something like that. Where exorcism can be a benefit and stuff. I also think a lot of times it just has to do with the belief of the participants. They may think that somebody's on them or somebody's put a spell on them or something like that, and they may have to be moved. There's kind of a fine line between, the blaming outside of oneself for one's condition rather than making changes within, and then there's definitely the legitimate side of things where there may be someone, a discarnate entity or something who is stronger and is taking over someone else who does need to be evicted. And, just like in life where you may need help with someone, dealing with someone in your life, like in your case, getting a lawyer to help you defend yourself against your husband. There's nothing wrong with asking for help in the spiritual realms as well. If you feel that there's someone or something around you or something like that that you can't deal with on your own. I guess the point where I have trouble with it has to do with is the exorcist just going into further agreement with the person that they can't handle it on their own, they can't that it's something outside of themselves, and they're too weak to handle it, and therefore, they must have the exorcist or something like that. You don't want to reinforce anybody in the belief that they can't handle themselves, or that their problems come from outside rather than from within. But there are definite cases where it's the right thing to do. What do you ask?
Well, I was talking about the exercise that she went to. She was taking 3 days, and she was saying that there could be, put on your family or your ancestors, and I was just wondering if that might be something beneficial to me, because it seems like, oftentimes when I am doing very well at something that I'm will sabotage myself, and I know it's an internal thing, spells, needed to be removed.
Yeah. Well, we all have self-sabotage patterns, that's for sure. And awareness of it is the first step towards healing it too.
Yeah.
There I go again.
Sometimes I'll like say things and do things right at the time that, that really is not appropriate. And,
Well, there's nothing wrong with getting whatever help you feel is appropriate to get. There's nothing wrong with it. It's like, we'll ask our friends to help us move. We'll get a lawyer to help with our divorce. We'll get, we're not alone, and it's very good to get assistance and everything. I haven't met this guy, Don Bosco, is the guy's name.
Yeah.
He's been recommended to me by several different people, and he actually was very highly recommended. I've heard that Diana came to see him or something a couple times. But I don't know. I haven't met him, so I don't know. I kind of get a bit turned off by hearing that kind of stuff. That, so-and-so put a spell on everything, you're going to see that, or something like that. Because of that thing about, it puts the person at effect. Rather than looking within and seeing how they might be able to change themselves or their thinking or something like that in order to create a better life. It says, it wasn't you, it was, someone bad out there did something bad to you or bad to your family or bad somewhere else, and only I can remove it or something like that. That makes me kind of cringe.
yeah.
But then at the same time, the guy comes highly recommended. I've had many friends recommend it to me, so, people who don't know each other, so I'm like, okay, I'll reserve judgment until I meet the guy and go for it or something like that. I don't know, my friends are so funny. I'd say use your own judgment with it. If it feels right to you, definitely go ahead and do it. If it doesn't, then don't.
I get very concerned about moving fast.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into the wrong line.
Yeah, and the thing with spells and everything too is there's a universal principle, and that's that what you think and what you believe creates your reality. And so people with their thoughts and beliefs can create negative realities for others. You can manipulate thought and create bad situations for other people. I mean, we do it all the time. Anytime we have a negative thought, or like traffic or something like that, that's like a negative spell or something. But at the same time, anybody who understands these principles also knows that whatever you put out, you get back. So anybody who understands that, why would they put a curse on someone else, knowing that they're going to get it back, much worse than they ever put it out? So I have a bit of trouble.
That's what I started asking. I'm feeling like uncomfortable with that.
Yeah. I know we were talking about that too. I was going, okay.
That's my feeling.
Yeah. The egg thing, it sounded like a cheap trick.
Yeah, that's what it would sound like.
Yeah. And then at the same time, the fact is really kind of like, I don't know, The guy that does the chaplain, okay.
Or if you go down to San Diego.
Yeah, I don't continuously do this too, as more of the stuff is released from the story. Just take it off out. Awareness. Just take it out of the and any processing that you may need to do bringing forth any information that is essential. We have to be brought forward in a waking consciousness. Back to the center, just to the ground, you're ready to transmute We also ask for special blessing related maybe a challenging year ahead, challenging and rewarding. But for these little ones especially, who are still so vulnerable, we ask special protection. They can learn what they need to learn and develop in the best way possible given their circumstances. Chakras calm down so much too. They really do. So much better. Yeah. Okay, let's bring me back in frequency. Gently back to where she should be exactly. Taking care of you. The angels and guides, your guides, want me to tell you, they are very, very pleased with your progress. Oh yeah, they know what you've been going through, how difficult it's been, and they want you to know that they are with you every step of the way. They feel alone at times, but you are not. You are so very well loved and cared for and watched over. And they're so pleased with what you're doing. It's like they're having a party, they're dancing for joy, realizing things about yourself, you're learning, you're taking these chances that were so very scary before, and you're taking them, and you're like just blossoming. You know, you're just so proud of you, happy for you, and they will help you and assist you in any way that they can. Doesn't mean there won't be rough times sometimes. There's certain things you gotta do for yourself, but they will be there to help you, and all you need to do is ask for guidance. You know, if you come into scary times, or you don't know what to do, or something like that, go to meditation. Guidance. Do you meditate now? Good. Okay, yeah, it's important to have that as a habit, because it's very difficult, you know, when you come into difficult times or stressful times, suddenly try to go into meditation, quiet everything down then, you know, it doesn't work real good. But if you're practiced at it, then you can, because then you know how to quiet yourself and hear the messages. That's good. Excellent. Good. Okay. All right, so we want to thank the guides and the archangels for their assistance. I want to thank Antar and Muriel for blending with my energy and guiding me in this